going on, guys? Alex here with 814ADC, and today I am ready to do my full review of the CJRB Silax. Now this is the second knife that I'm doing a review on from the loaner box that came in from the Black Widow Passaround group. The first one, if you missed yesterday's video, was the CJRB Scoria, which is a really cool folder. Now there were two other knives in the box. There was the Tigress and the what's the other one's name? The Cazador. But I had already done reviews on those two from a previous artisan loaner box that we had got in. So this one was just primarily the Scoria and the Silax. And if I'm gonna be honest, right off the bat, I didn't carry this knife. I didn't really do much with it at all besides, you know, I did cut a little bit of paper with it, and I kind of just looked at it and, you know, played around with it at my desk, but it's not something that I carried or I didn't put too much hard use into. So this review might be a little bit shorter than normal. Well, it definitely will be shorter than normal because it's a fixed blade, and I take out the whole action, you know, category that I go through normally with folders. But yeah, it's a cool fixed blade. You know, I guess just jumping right into materials, it comes with a really nice Kydex sheath here. Obviously, I have the green G10 handled one, and it comes with a matching green Kydex sheath. Now this one is set up for a neck knife carry, and I think I said in my unboxing video that this knife to me is way too big for me to carry around my neck. I did try it, I think once when I was just sitting at my desk doing homework or something, or watching YouTube or something like that. I did put it around my neck, and I kept it there for like an hour, and I just wasn't a big fan of it. It's a decent sized knife, and I think that, you know, you obviously could do it. You know, there are guys that are bigger than me that it would probably feel a little bit more comfortable on. It would obviously make the knife look a little smaller if you're a little bigger. So then you maybe could carry it. But in my mind, I would have liked to have seen some like soft belt loops on here to maybe carry on your waist. And even then, I think it's still, you know, it's a big blade, but I still would have liked to have that carry option, you know, available to me. You know, maybe come with this already on it, but then put like soft loop box or soft loops in the box. Maybe that would have just given, you know, a different sort of just would have given you different options. And another way you could carry this knife, I think, is like having it on like a backpack right here. I think that's where it would fit probably the best, or just carrying it, you know, horizontal on your belt, like not having to worry about concealing it. Because like I said, it is a big knife, and but it's very thin. It's very, you know, lightweight. And it's, yeah. So the Kydex sheath is done very well. You get a nice click of retention whenever you put it in there. You pull it out, then you push it in, and you get a nice click. I mean, and it's not going anywhere. Like there's no rattling. Like it fits the sheath very, very well. So that's a huge plus. That because some sheaths come and like you can feel some rattling. You can, you know, it's a little loose. But this, you know, if you really like torque on it, excuse me, it's gonna rattle a little bit. But for the most part, you know, it's not coming out anywhere, so it's gonna be safe in there and whatnot. So diving into the knife, what I've found to be most useful is you just put your thumb or your pointer, your thumb. Can't see my fingers today, guys. My thumb here, and you kind of just push, and it comes out, and you have access to the blade. Now it's a very handsome looking knife, I will say. There's a CJRB logo. This knife is in AR RPM 9 steel, which again is a artisan in CJRB. They created it in their factories, and it's their own steel, so they've been starting to use that pretty much primarily on their, you know, $75 to $100 in that range of knives. That's what the Scoria was in. That's what this is in. Now this is a Mallory design, which is cool. I think this is the first Mallory design blade that I got to check out, unless I know the Tigress I don't believe is. The Cazador might be, but I don't think anything else that I've checked out has been made by him. But he definitely has some cool knives. The primarily ones that I can like think of on the top of my head that are made by him or designed by him, excuse me, are done by CJRB. Like the first one that pops in my head is like the Centros. I'm 99% sure that is a Dylan Mallory design. But yeah, this is, I think, my first, which is really cool to check out. This is I believe a full flat grind. I don't believe it's hollow. It feels like a flat grind, but it's very thin behind the edge. It's, did I say full flat grind? It's almost a full flat grind. You have a little bit of a swedge built in here, but you get a lot of belly. And I mean, this, if I'm being honest, when I first pulled this knife out and held it, to me, this feels and this looks like a kitchen knife. To me, it kind of shouts itself out as saying, you know, put me in the kitchen. I want to cut up vegetables and fruits and meats, and I think that's what I think it would be a really good option for that. Obviously, I didn't try it because this is a prototype, but I did put through a few pieces of paper, and the edge is phenomenal. It's very sharp, you know, hair whittling sharp. I just cut a few pieces of hair off, and yeah, it's a relatively thin stock. And it comes down to a very nice thin edge, and it's very, you know, the cutting ergonomics and the cutting, you know, properties that this thing has are very well done. So Dylan definitely did a good job with designing to have a nice thin slicey blade, whether using that for kitchen prep like I probably would, or you're out camping, or just opening packages, whatever you may do with this knife. The edge is, or the thinness of, you know, the cutting edge is very, very good. Now with the G10 handle, it is a full tang blade, which is cool to see. And then on each side, you just have 3 pieces of hardware. These are the show side, and then here you have the screw interfaces. If you were to want to take this apart for some reason, which I don't know why you would really need to. Now on the website, I believe there is a desert, like a tan version of this, and a black version of this. So you have a few different options to, you know, choose from. I will leave a link directly to the Silax's page on the Artisan website if you guys are interested in checking this out. So yeah, I don't think there's nothing really, you know, else to write home about with materials. Besides the green G10, the AR RPM 9 blade steel, very thin stock, very thin edge, flat grind, and just very slicey, very, you know, user focused when you're out cutting stuff. Now for action, I'm not going to talk about action because obviously this is one solid piece of knife. There's no closing, there's no there's no opening. I guess you can consider the pulling out of the sheath as an action, which I've already talked about is very good. The retention's very well done, so thumbs up for that. But there's no action to talk about, so we're just going to skip over that. And we're going to talk about ergos next, and ergos are really, really good for this knife. Like I've already talked about, it is super, super thin. And the G10 handle scales are very well, you know, contoured. They're nicely done G10. I do like how Artisan and CJRB does their scales because they're very smooth, but there's still a good amount of grip to it. But you kind of fall in here with this natural restriction point. There's a little bit of a cutout for your finger, and then you're basically straight. And it's all in one shape coming back here until you have a little bit of another restriction point. But I can get all 4 fingers on this knife with still, I could probably fit another finger on there if I wanted to. And it's very comfortable, very, just very easy to hold, very easy to grab onto if you have to grab onto it. Just, it's nothing really to write home about, but it's very good. Like it's just kind of a nice, simple, well done G10 scale in both sides that are put on a nice thin blade, or a nice thin stock. So ergos are very, very good. And I will say, whenever you go to pull the knife out of the sheath, you do have quite a bit of handle sticking out, so you can get, a really, really good purchase no matter which way you're trying to grab onto the knife here and pull it out. So that's another perk of it. If you have to grab it, kind of in a fast way, if you happen to be using this to, defend yourself against something or someone, you know, that's a good part that you can just grab it and pull. You don't have to like fiddle around trying to get the handle in your hand and pull it out. So just as something I'd like to point in there that I thought was cool. Excuse me, guys, gotta take a little drink break. Next we'll talk about carry. And again, carry, I didn't carry this knife anywhere besides around my neck for like an hour, and I wasn't a huge fan of that. You can obviously do it if you are a fan of neck knives and you don't really mind. I'll just do it right now. Don't really mind having a big blade on your, you know, self. But to me, you know, it hangs down to almost pretty much where my belly button is, and I just don't think that that I would find this very comfortable just walking around on a day in and day out basis with this thing around my neck. I've obviously never, you know, carried a neck knife before, but to me, if you're carrying a neck knife, you want to carry like a nice, small, very discreet blade. And in my opinion, this is not discreet. This is very big, very large, very long. So I don't really like the carry on my neck. I would much prefer to see soft loop straps put on here to carry somehow in your belt, whether it's horizontal or vertical, like scout carry or something like that. Or again, you could also put it on your backpack strap if you're hiking. I think that would be a really good place for this thing to live. And obviously, to me, I don't think that I would carry this because I think this would live in the kitchen if I had this. But yeah, so carry, I can't really put too much into words for you guys, just with the only carrying option that I was given with the neck knife, or with the necklace, neck strap, paracord, or whatever. Not the biggest fan, but I definitely can see other people using it in different applications other than this. So lastly, I want to go over price point and would I buy this knife, would I recommend it. Price point on the website I think is like $93. Very similar to the Scoria, which I talked about. That's directly from Artisan and CJRB, so their prices are always, like, when you buy directly from the manufacturer, their prices are always more than if you buy from like a retailer like Blade HQ, River's Edge Cutlery, Knife Joy, Knife Center, stuff like that. And I did not check any of the retailers to see what the pricing of this is, so I'm just going to go off the, you know, manufacturer's price, and I still think that $93 for this is good. You know, obviously I would like to see, again, I'm talking about this a lot, but I would like to see a few more carrying applications put in for this on, you know, the soft loop straps, maybe even like a tech lock to put on your belt or on a backpack or something like that. Just something in addition to carrying with this, because I think I speak from a lot of people's perspective. They probably wouldn't carry this thing on your neck either. So it just kind of, I guess, slightly disappointing that this is the only option given. So I just would like to see something more of like that included, but I don't think that I would buy this for myself unless it's strictly going to be a kitchen knife, because again, when I see this, I think of a kitchen utility knife. To me, it's like they took a kitchen knife and threw on some nice G10 scales and called it you know, an EDC fixed blade, and that's okay, because some people, you know, I think this would be good in any application, but to me, what feels best for it is to live in the kitchen or as like a camp kitchen knife. You know, if you're out camping, this would be a good blade to have to cut up anything you're planning on cooking. So that's just kind of where I stand for it, or from it, I guess you could say. I'm not going to buy this, I don't think, just because if I do, actually I don't have any fixed blades in the collection right now. I really would like to get one. I have a few in mind that I would like to get. But obviously if I get a fixed blade, I want it to be a nice, small, easily available, or easily added to my EDC. You know, I'd like for it to carry it horizontal on my belt, like right up front, and I think that this is just too big. I would want a much smaller blade to do that. But if I did buy it, like I said, it would go directly in my kitchen. It would probably live there, and I think it would make a really good kitchen knife. So that's just kind of my viewpoints on it. This wasn't a true traditional full review, because even when I can't cut much with knives that are loaners. I can still carry them and cut a little bit with them. This is just different because I didn't want to carry it around my neck like this, and I didn't want to cut much with it because, I don't know, I just didn't want to go and do any food prep with it because I don't know how companies are with using loaners and stuff like that, so I just didn't want to, you know, mess up the blade. Not that I would mess it up, but do any work with it, so I just stayed away from that. But at the end of the day, I think that Dylan Mallory came up with a pretty cool design. I do like how it looks and it functions and stuff. This ultimately is a good knife at the end of the day. I really don't have any qualms with it, besides obviously it just being a little bit too big for my liking for normal you know, EDC tasks. But that's just me nitpicking. Like, there's nothing functionally wrong with the knife. It's very well built, very comfortable, has good materials, has a phenomenal edge and a nice grind on it, nice and thin. So everything about this is very well done, just besides the lack of other carrying applications. So this, guys, was my full review of the CJRB Silax, which like I said, I will leave a link to the Silax down below in the description. If you are interested in looking at one, it'll take you directly to Artisan and CJRB's website. So go check that out. Leave a comment down below what your thoughts are on it. I'm curious if anyone else, after watching this video, or even before watching this video, kind of thought of it as a kitchen knife. I wonder if I'm the only one out there that thinks that, or if there are other people that believe that as well. So leave a comment down below whether or not you like the knife, so on and so forth. Again, I love hearing from you guys. It's my favorite part, really, of doing YouTube, between that and making other connections with people. So leave a comment down below. And yeah, you guys are probably going to be seeing this on Thursday, and then I'll have a video to post Friday, Saturday, Sunday as well, because I have three more reviews to film after this one. So be on the lookout for that. It'll be a busy weekend for me, but I want to get these posted or filmed and posted for you guys, so you guys can check them out. So thank you guys so much for stopping back in and watching my channel, and for checking out my video. Or I said that backwards. For stopping back in and watching my video and checking out my channel. That sounds better. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your evening, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.